WSU baseball are raking in the wins to start off their 2023 campaign. They capped off their weekend series in San Diego with a thrilling 5-run comeback win over UNLV that ended about a half hour ago. Sophomore catcher Will Cresswell was the hero for the Cougs on Sunday after hitting a dinger to left center, capping off a 3-run comeback to propel the Cougs to a 3-2 dub over UC San Diego. Well, by the way, guys, this just got to our newsroom. WSU Cougars just released their spring schedule. The Crimson and Gray game will be played on April 22nd. Well, the World Baseball Classic has come to a close, and boy, was it one to remember. Team USA going for back-to-back titles, while Japan looks for its third Classic title. We start off in the top of the second inning, where Trey Turner opens up the scoring with a smooth stroke to left field to give the U.S. an early lead. Going out back to the bottom half of the inning, on the very first pitch, it's Munetaka Murakami who ropes a fastball into the upper deck and right to tie things up. But they weren't satisfied just yet as the bases were loaded. It's the Japanese-American Lars Nootbaar who's able to squib it over to first on that fastball way inside. That brings in the runner from third. Nootbaar, the first player not born in Japan to play for the national team. Moving into the fourth, Japan continues to force the issue as it's Kazuma Okamoto with a solo moonshot to left center. And that one over the wall makes it a 2-run ball game. Fast forward to the eighth. Team USA, their backs against the wall. Kyle Schwarber, way back. No doubt about it. Makes it a 1-run ball game, but it wasn't enough in the end as the Japanese sensation Shohei Ohtani closes the door on the Americans. And Japan walks home with their third WBC championship. Yes, thank you, Danny. WSU's track and field team continues its indoor schedule with an invitational of their own that'll be held this weekend in Spokane. The WSU Invitational will be held at the multi-sportsplex known as the Podium. The meeting will start on Thursday and end Saturday evening. Men's basketball looks to capitalize off an upset win over the Sun Devils when they head down to SoCal to take on both the Trojans and the Bruins. The Cougs are seeking wins number 11 and 12 overall and number 6 and 7 in conference play as they continue their journey back to a 500 win percentage. Tip-off against USC is scheduled for 8 p.m. Thursday night. The Cougs will then take on the Bruins Saturday at 4 p.m. The Cougar swim team will host their fourth and final home meet this Friday at Gibb Pool. The team will have the opportunity to go out on a high note as they host their neighborhood rivals, the Idaho Vandals. The swim meet will start this Saturday at 5 p.m. WSU tennis continues a long and lengthy road trip as they head south to take on the other Cougars from BYU. After winning the first 2 meets in Pullman, they fell short as their last 2 contests against 8th-ranked Virginia and Northwestern last weekend. The tennis team seeks its first win on the road since starting the season in mid-January. The match time is scheduled for 11 a.m. this Saturday. That's it this week for your Coug Outlook. Back to Daniela and Jerica at the desk. But here's the thing, Drew. I think the biggest obstacle for them has got to be those 76ers right now. Yep. Giannis is a great player, but the 76ers have 2 great players. They got Embiid, who's sitting in his prime right now. We've talked about that before. But now they've got James Harden, and he wants to play. He wanted out of Brooklyn with the situation going on. The Ben Simmons drama is over. But, I mean, you look at the dominance in the way that Giannis has really changed the game and just dominated in so many facets. Mm-hmm. All this guy really needs is a 3-point game, and he can do anything. This really was not that bad of a loss for the Jazz, and here's why. Despite having no big man presence inside, they were still able to share the wealth with the guards as well as they did, getting 6 players into double figures. When you have a couple of superstar players like Luka Doncic, I mean, the sensational Slovenian Swiss Army knife, as I like to call him. This guy is basically pulling a Russell Westbrook because he's almost averaging a triple-double this season. He's got 27.8 points per game, 9.1 rebounds, and 8.5 assists per game. So for all intents and purposes, he's basically averaging a triple-double. Yeah. And if you look at this Rams team, this season for them really emulates that of the Buccaneers. If you think about it last season when they won the Super Bowl, you pick up the veteran QB, you add a star wide receiver mid-season, you have a star-studded roster that tends to kind of be overlooked going into the playoffs. And imagine that. You get to host the Super Bowl in your home stadium, SoFi. All that's missing for the Rams is a win. And another thing I want to focus on here is this Rams defense, which has been kind of back and forth this season, but I think you still have to go old reliable here with the pass rush, this very intimidating pass rush for the Rams. You got Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Leonard Floyd, and Greg Gangs, who's really kind of turned into a bit of an X factor recently and kind of putting a lot of pressure on Murrow to really get rid of the ball quick. But defensively, The numbers really are representative of how effective this defense has been, especially with the pass rush. You look at guys like Aaron Donald. He had 12.5 sacks this season. Leonard Floyd had 9.5 and a solid effort from, again, Von Miller and Greg Gangs with that pass rush.
So who wins that battle before we move on? Who wins that battle? Do you think Jamar Chase wins that battle, or do you think Jalen Ramsey will lock him up?
I don't know. I think you can really go either way, but if I had to put money on it, I'd go with Ramsey in the end.
Okay.
To really pull it out, coming out the clutch there for the Rams. I think a big thing for them going into this World Series was they're going to have to follow a blueprint very similar to the Nationals in their World Series, where you have your first couple of pitches in Nola and Wheeler, which are going to be kind of your standouts, and what's kind of a bit of a thinner lineup once you kind of move a bit further down the line. And so a lot of the onus was going to be on those guys to get it done, but given up back-to-back 5-run games didn't exactly go so well for them. Yeah, I think this is a testament to how deep the Astros pitching really goes, both within the starting lineup and within the bullpen. And to see Javier, pitch as well as he did, you're talking 6 innings, no hits, no runs, only surrendered 2 walks, and a whopping 9 strikeouts in that. Just a stellar performance from him. And then just to pass that off to a slew of great relievers that the Astros already have lined up waiting for them, especially with Presley to finish it off. It just goes to show that the Astros really have nothing to worry about too much from a pitching standpoint. It's just a matter of being able to dominate on that set of things and just allowing the offense to kind of relax and settle in and be able to flourish on the other end of things. And all it took was 1 inning for them to put 5 up on the board, and that's all she wrote for them. But I think really what this game proved is that there were so many issues for the Phillies, especially in terms of their inability to hit with runners in scoring position. It had been a big problem for them going into this one. They had to go through 6 pitchers throughout the course of this game, and that can kind of stretch you a little bit in bits and pieces. But again, Syndergaard not having a very deep start to this game, getting pulled pretty early in, just kind of proved some of the places that the Phillies will have to fill in the offseason. You got to remember, this Houston lineup's got some power hitters in them for sure. And it didn't really show up in a lot of those earlier games in the series, but this was the one where it mattered the most. And Alvarez came out in the clutch, did what he does best. He just gave it a good hack and watched it fly right over the batter's eye. And so that was all there was for Philly in that one. But again, you sometimes you forget about that. And then right here in Game 6, it came back to bite the Phillies. You've already paid Wheeler that much money, but it shows that you have faith in your pitching staff, right? You have faith in the 2 guys that everyone's saying are supposed to be leading this team from a starting pitcher's position. But I think it shows loyalty to a team in that moment, to be like, yes, we're going to have faith in you in this moment. We're putting it on the line. We're giving the ball to you. What are you going to do with it? We're giving you the opportunity. See if you can go and run with it.
Dane Jones will be the batter for the Badlands Big Stick, still looking for his first hit as a big stick. Went 0 for 3 yesterday. Drew a walk, was also hit on the hand by a pitch. 0 for 2 on the day today.
He's going to hit this one deep left field. There it goes, and it is gone. Home run, Dane Jones. A solo moonshot over the left field wall into the sunset, and the Sticks took a 4-0 lead in the bottom of the 5th.
Well, how about that for your first hit as a big stick? I mean, come on. Back in the 3rd.
This one hit well to left. Backing up is Haber, and did he make the catch? He did! Haber made the catch at the wall! A chance for Conklin to retire 7 batters straight. Here's the pitch. This is popped up. Left field side. A lot of Sticks charging in on this one. And sliding and making a beautiful play is Haber in foul territory. 1, 2, 3 for Conklin. 7 straight retired. But the Barrels have really showed up for Applewick in his past couple of hits. He's been able to drive the ball pretty far. It's what we've known him for this summer. Here comes the payoff. This is hit really well to center. Backing up is Higdon. This ball's carrying, and there it goes. Well, that's going to help things a little bit more. A 2-run bomb over the wall in right center. Applewick, his 2nd home run. He gets one in both games against the Rocks. And we got a tie ball game in the bottom of the 1st. Here's Studer with it now going the other way. Chance for a counterattack, working down the right side. Working down the right wing, this is Bennett. Bennett now cuts towards the middle. Shot in, she scores! She nets her 8th goal on the season for the Cougs. And that'll be her 3rd in Pac-12 matchups. Biggest issue I've had so far, though, with the Cougars is the rebounding. They've been doubled in terms of rebounding. The Huskies have 31 rebounds, and the Cougs have only had 15. 9 of them offensive for the Huskies, so the Cougs have to figure out how to crash the boards and continue to get more rebounds to get more second chance opportunities. Ula did exactly what I was talking about. Back down in the post, use your body, try to get a little bit closer, and does a beautiful right hook that time to give the Cougs the lead.
Ledger Walker now, she's going to drive. Ledger Walker kicks it out. Matuga for the tie. Yes! Ola Matuga! And we're tied at 50!
Big time players make big time plays, Zane. And Ulan Batuga, I noted this earlier, 10 for 14 from beyond the arc in her last 4 starts. I'm amazed that they have not utilized her beyond the arc. That's her first 3-pointer that we've seen in this one. But there you go. A play in the clutch. And with 14 seconds to go, we're knotted up at 50, folks.
Doway once again, keeping it going for the Lancers on a solid rally going both ways. But she gets her 7th kill off that deflection. And now the Bruins elect to take a timeout. So a sign of good things for the Lancers in this second set that are up by 5. Looking to knot this thing up at 1 set apiece. We'll be right back.
Not quite yet.
Good dig from Doway, but a freebie that time for O'Brien as it lands right in front of her, completely uncontested. Yeah, great dig from Doway, but it just left that spot completely open, and a great court awareness there from O'Brien to take advantage. And you can think of a hit percentage. I know we've talked about hit percentage quite a bit with 345 for Schumann and 529 for Doway. Think of it like, in baseball, you got your batting average in baseball. Essentially, the higher it is, the better it is. So if you average about a 300 as a team, you played really well overall. And there's Doway once again. Yeah, Doway to the Lancers has been what Schumann has been to the Bruins in this one, in terms of they are the one that they want to get the ball in the hands of. Make it 10 kills now for her on 20 attacks. Again, still without a single error. Nice dump into that time from the Lancers. Doing a lot of what Belmont was kind of doing initially, too. They were exploiting the Lancers really with a lot of those tips right by that 10-foot line.
Yeah.
And now the Lancers giving them a taste of their own medicine.